Hello everyone. In this video, we will look into the ACX 7100 Lifecycle Management, which combines ZTP, configuration management, compliance management, service provisioning, and monitoring for ACX 7100. I will start from ZTP first for ACX 7100. After logging in Atom, dashboard page will appear. You can go to the resource manager, then devices. Here you will see all the discovered devices. After changing to grid view, you will see the credential sets and credential profile on the top. Here we will talk about credential profile. In this example, credential profile is ZTP profile, where we call different credential sets like SNMP, NetConf, and SSH. Now we can go to the automation, then services. In this page, if you will go to the catalog, then you will see ZTP mapping container, which we will use to create the ZTP mapping for HCX 7100. In the service detail page, we have to provide ZTP details like config template name, credential set profile, and IPAM detail with ZTP workflow. In this example, we are using flow, which is config and image from DSCP. ZTP report section will not have any reports now. In ZTP image driver section, we have to provide image, which we are going to deploy on device at the time of onboarding. Here we have one Atom agent which is serving as a slave and FTP server, where we copied the images and device configuration template. Now we will look into dscp.conf file, which is present in external DSCP server. Here you can see some lines already present for ZTP. For ACX 7100, we created a separate class which will run only for Juniper ACX 7100 32 series devices. After setting up the DHCP related parameters, we can come down and see the host related ZTP configuration for ACX 7100. Here you can see we added the lines for hardware management and gateway address with Atom agent IP for config and image upload on ACX 7100. Now if we log into the ACX 7100, then using show version command, we can see that current version running on the device is 21.1 R2.10. As a part of ZTP flow, we have to upgrade the image. Hence, we will only select the Junos 21.2 R1.15 in the DSCP file and hash the another image path. After that, we can save the dscp.conf file. After saving the file, we have to restart the DSCP service using systemctl restart command. And after restarting the service, we can see the DSCP service status using systemctl status command. Now go back to the device and run the command request system 0is to make the ACX 7100 in factory default state. Here you can see that device came in factory default setting and in some time ZTP process started on ACX 7100. On the device log you can see that DSCP server find the image path and config path from Atom agent. You can also monitor the status of each task and event of ZTP workflow in Atom. Here you can see that workflow instances has been created and config file uploaded on ACX 7100 successfully. After refresh the screen, you can also see the Junos has been uploaded on the ACX 7100. Now in the last workflow instance, you will see all the tasks completed successfully, which include ACX 7100 onboarding on Atom. To verify the onboarding of ACX 7100, you can go to resources, then devices and look for defined IP, which we defined in dscp.conf file for ACX 7100, which was 10.83.153.86. Now we will take a look on config management for ACX 7100 using Atom. After login in Atom, dashboard page will appear. From the dashboard page, you can go to the resource manager, then devices. Here you can see all the discovered devices, which includes ACX 7100 with IP 10.83.153.86. You can also see the device related information like Junos version, device type, platform related informations. After selecting ACX 7100, configuration page will appear. Here you can see the archive, changelog and config data tabs. You can also go in summary page where you can see the detailed device information of ACX 7100 as well as alarm related and device health related summary. Now come back to the configuration page. In Archive tab, you can see the multiple configuration of ACX 7100 pulled by Atom in different intervals. On the right side, you can see the full configuration of the device, and you can also download the configuration using download button on the top. You can also perform the config difference between two configurations using compare button on the top. While coming down, you can see the configuration difference in different colors. Now come to the change log tab. Here also you can see the difference between latest configuration and archived configuration, like added lines, modified lines, deleted lines in the latest configuration. Atom also have the capability to create the config data tree using saved configuration and maintain the config elements in config data tab. If you will select interfaces in config elements, then you can see all the interfaces detail present on ACX 7100. Now we will take a look of Atom Compliance Management. From the dashboard, go to the Resource Manager, then Config Compliance. In Config Compliance page, you can see the Dashboard Policies, Profile Report, Remediation and Archive tab. Dashboard page, you can see the graphs for compliance and non-compliance devices. In Policies page, we will look into one existing policy for NTP. Here in the policy, we can define multiple rules and each rule with multiple conditions. Here we have only one rule where we can define basic information like rule name and select the platform on which policy will execute. It could be ACX 7100 as well as MX device. Also, we can set the rule variable. And finally, in condition and actions, we can create multiple conditions. Here we have two conditions. First, we will look first condition, which is check NTP server. Here you can see we already defined the NTP values in the conditions, and if those values will not match, then policy will look for actions. In the actions, we define the violation to raise the alarm with critical severity. Here you can also see the fix CLI option is already set. If the CLI will not match as per the condition, then remediation action can be taken care by the fix CLI option. Now we can see the second condition, which is remove NTP server. Here in the condition details using regex, we defined if any extra NTP server defined except two defined IPs, then policy will look for action details and raise a violation with critical severity. Here also we have the fix CLI option. In the fix CLI option, we are using Jinja template to delete the extra NTP servers as a remediation action. Now coming to the profiles, here also we have some defined profiles, which is ACX CLI profile, where we can call multiple policies. In this profile, we call multiple policies, which includes NTP server config check. While calling the policy, we can also change the rule variable defined in the policy. Now in the profile section, we have to select the device where profile will execute. In our case, it is ACX 7100. We can also select the device using vendors. We can also schedule the profile execution task with current config or with latest archive config. After clicking on the save button, we can see compliance profile successfully executed and generated the task, which we can find in the task view. We can also fetch the audit report for the triggered task. If device is compliant as per the profile, then no action will perform on the device. And if device is non-compliant, then action will perform for that device. Now in the report section, you can find the compliance condition and execution status. If compliance status is in red, then the device is non-compliant and we can perform the remediation action to make the device compliant. Now we will look for service provisioning using Atom. Here we have ACX 7100, which supports E-line and L3 VPN services. We will take one example for L3 VPN services. From the dashboard page, you can navigate to automation, then services. Here you can see the catalog page where we have some defined catalogs for different services. We will use VPN services catalog to create the L3 VPN service on ACX 7100. Here in the services detail, you can see all parameters related to L3 VPN service. We will use service section to configure the L3 VPN services. Before that, we have to define for which customer we are creating service. Here we have some defined template to create customer. After clicking on save button, you can see task completed and customer created successfully. Now we can go to the services section and go to L3 VPN. Here also we have predefined templates where we already defined like service name, customer name, which service definition will be used by L3 VPN service, and RT values, device name. Here we are using ACX 7100, site name, CE facing interface with interface unit, VLAN tagging, bandwidth limit for polyser. Here BGP is running as PEC protocol, so we define PRAS. We can also define the MTU factor. After verifying all the fields, you can click on save button. Here you can see in the task view that service has been created successfully on device. You can also see the detailed view of the task like log, summary and commands. You can also view the state of the task. In this case, it is in provision state. It means configuration has been pushed on ACX 7100 successfully. Now we will start the monitoring for ACX 7100 using Atom. In Atom, we have multiple ways to collect data from ACX 7100 using telemetry, SNMP, SNMP trap and syslog. Here we will discuss for SNMP monitoring. From the dashboard, you can navigate to monitoring then SNMP. Here you can see we already have the SNMP collection package for ACX 7100. After clicking on the edit button for SNMP collection package, you can see all the MIPS supported by ACX 7100. Here you can select the MIPS for which you want to poll and see the data in graphs. You can also schedule the frequency for polling and select the device or device groups. Now to see the monitoring data for ACX 7100, you can navigate to resources then devices. In the devices section, you can see the monitoring page where you can select the ACX 7100 and look for custom charts. Here you can see after selecting the multiple metrics like interface drops, errors, CPU utilization and disk utilization, we can see the data in graphs collected by SNMP. This is all for ACX 7100 lifecycle management. Thanks for watching.